Imagine a world where the dreaded sound of your alarm doesn't signal the start of a hamster wheel 9-to-5 grind. What if I told you that the traditional workday is becoming a thing of the past? Stick around to discover how the future of work is shaping up to be more flexible, more humane, and believe it or not, more productive. Welcome to Kaleido Canvas, where we cover a wide scope of topics purely for your entertainment while you blow off some steam. If you find value in this video, be sure to give it a like so Daddy YouTube can allow me to be somebody. Let's jump right in. The 9-to-5 workday, an idea sprouted from the industrial era, is just no longer suited for the diverse and dynamic nature of today's service-based economy. With the rise of remote work and the gig economy, the rigid structure of a traditional workday is increasingly at odds with the realities of modern life. It's time to question, is the 9-to-5 model still relevant in a world where work and life are more intertwined than ever? Personally, I think some people have no business to be trusted being remote, as they sit on the couch picking their belly button or sleeping 5 out of the 8-hour work shift. But as soon as I got a taste of remote life 5 years ago, I never wanted to go back.
This is how corporate America feels about remote work in 2023.
The laptop class is living in La La Land. It's messed up to assume that they have to go to work, but you don't. It's not just a productivity thing. I think it's morally wrong.
Listen, it doesn't work for young kids. It doesn't work for spontaneity. It doesn't really work for management.
And this is how the corporate world felt about remote work in 2020, during the height of COVID-19.
The biggest advantages, I think, are access to large pools of talent who don't live around the big cities and aren't willing to move there.
Since we've all been forced into being remote now for 9 months, I think we've realized that if you have somebody in a particular location who's willing to work the hours to be able to collaborate, you can do it very effectively. So it's changed how we thought about hiring.
Let's pause here. Notice something? In fewer than 3 years, corporate leaders have reversed their approach to remote work, and it seems like this tactic has been working. The latest data from the Census Bureau found that fewer than 26% of U.S. households still have someone working from home. That's down from 37% in early 2021.
The pandemic has accelerated a shift towards flexible work arrangements, with employees getting a taste of the freedom and work-life balance that comes with it. Companies like Microsoft and Salesforce are leading the charge, recognizing that the future of work is not about clocking in and out, but about results and well-being. While other companies like Google and Citigroup are establishing efforts to claw back employees to their office. Some people believe remote work is bad for new hires and junior employees, and they may have a point. It does take time for someone not to feel lost in a new job. Liberty Street Economics, an arm of the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, found that on average, remote workers work 3.5 hours less than in office, while others think that's just an attempt to save the commercial real estate industry. I mean, who's going to fill in all that office space? The question now is, how can we make this flexibility sustainable and accessible to all?
So some of the pushback remote work is driven by concerns about productivity. There have been some experimental studies that show that there's some productivity impact potentially from remote work. But those studies are also experiments, right? It's unclear how they apply to the broader labor force.
Contrary to the old adage that time is money, the link between hours worked and productivity is tenuous at best. Studies show that at a certain point, more hours don't equate to more output and may even lead to burnout. Maybe it's time to shift our focus from quantity to quality, from clock watching to outcome-oriented work. Curious what your take would be on this. The sides of this debate are usually even, and most likely your answer depends on the type of industry you're in, right? Meaning tech work is a much different dynamic than, let's say, a skilled labor job.
If you're coming with the stat to protect yourself, to put the positive narrative for people to return to work, I'd like to think, what were the productivity like when people were all working from home, when you're not allowed to have any face-to-face worker at all, right? So now you're spinning it in your favor. So I'd like to challenge that.
If the employee can perform their duties and handle their responsibilities, they should be encouraged to work from wherever it makes them feel as excited about life as possible. I camped in Key West for 3 weeks. I was in North Dakota in February. I've been up and down the coast of California. I've been to our national parks. For me, that's where I feel best working. and that's where I've gotten my best work done. I believe we can work from anywhere.
The concept of work-life balance needs a makeover. Instead of trying to neatly separate our professional and personal lives, we should aim for integration and harmony. This means redefining success not just in terms of career achievements, but in terms of overall happiness and fulfillment, and probably coming somewhere in the middle of in-office and remote by going hybrid. 3 days remote and 2 days in office, of course. Let's not get crazy with the opposite. Embracing a new work paradigm is not without its challenges. From ensuring fair compensation to maintaining team cohesion, companies must navigate a complex landscape to create a truly flexible and inclusive work environment. But the potential rewards, increased productivity, improved mental health, and a more engaged workforce are well worth the effort. So, even if those companies are fighting to keep the culture alive, the death to the 9-to-5 workday is not just a trend, but a movement towards a more humane and efficient way of working. As we stand at the crossroads of change, the question is not whether we should embrace the new era of work, but how we can do so in a way that benefits everyone.